I'm Nathalie Muylle. I'm the Minister of Work, Economy and Poverty in Belgium. Now we are no longer in a caretaking government. We are a government with full competences, but we are a minority government. Well, the impact of the pandemic, as well on public health as on social and economic situation, has been unprecedented in Belgium. For the moment, we registered 59,000 cases, of which more than 9,606 people have regrettably died. This figure, I must say, is overestimated because we count also the people who have died in elderly homes, even if no test was performed. On the socioeconomic level, the lockdown resulted in over 2 months of a dramatic drop in the revenue for most sectors. For all industries combined, the weekly revenue drop was 1/3 on its worst level and is still on a quarter today. Nearly 8% of the companies think the pandemic will likely cause their bankruptcy. These figures are, of course, worse for some industries like arts, entertainment, restaurants, cafes. Thanks to the temporary unemployment scheme, which we have improved and made largely automatic, a lot of jobs could be saved so far. More than 1 million workers have been placed in temporary unemployment on some point in the last months. And this accounts for about 1/3 of all private sector employees. And a similar number of independent workers have to be closed and received also a benefit to bridge this period. Concluded, we had for the moment the worst unemployment figures in years. According to recent provisions, economic growth would drop to -10% in 2020 in Belgium. We can recover 8% in 21, but also the unemployment rate now, it was historically low with 5% in 19, but it would increase to 7% in 21, and that means employment would be reduced by more than 100,000 jobs by the end of 21. Well, the list of measures to protect workers, self-employed companies and people on social security or social protection benefits is very long and it's still increasing. The federal, but we have also regional governments have taken coordinated steps in their own competences. I name a few. We have the temporary unemployment benefits have been put in place, which has allowed workers to keep up 70% of their monthly income. Also self-employed that were forced to close their activities due to the lockdown or had a drop in demand have been given a lump sum of about 1,500 euros, depending on their family status a month. Also, companies that have interrupted activities have been granted more time to pay social and fiscal contributions. They received also 4,000 euros of the Flemish government. Temporary reductions of social security and fiscal contribution for companies are also being discussed. And a plan has been set up with the banks to grant bridges loans for companies. Also for the poor families on social welfare benefits, and people with a disability will receive a monthly top-up of 50 euros in the next 6 months, just until the end of the year. Also on the public health side, hospital received emergency funding to allow them to concentrate on the care of infected people. Also on contact tracing system has been set up to find and test and isolate suspected cases to halt the pandemic. And also finally, the federal government has repeatedly discussed the fight against the virus and the recovery of the economy with the social partners. Together, we draft a guide for companies to restore their activities in a safe manner. This process was extremely swift and efficient, which proves that the quality and the expertise of social dialogue in Belgium is a very good one.